You're listening to Jollof Agenda on Radio Now 95.3 FM. It's Zibby here, and of course, it's a perfect way to kick off the weekend. Our special guest this evening is none other than the beautiful and very talented stage, TV, and film actress who has done it all for about 4 decades, Miss Clarion Chukwura.
Thank you, Zibby.
Thank you so much for coming through.
It's great being here.
Wow.
It's great being here.
Can I just say you look very pretty?
Thank you so much.
You probably get it a lot.
That's the story of my life, believe me.
Good genes, and thank you, Lord. It's so lovely to have you. You've been acting since 1980, I believe.
Yeah, 79.
Wow.
Yeah.
How has it been in all this time?
Well, for one thing, I started acting when I was 14, 15, wow. So I would say that I don't really know what life without being an actress is, so it's been great, because acting I've fulfilled, some of my greatest dreams, through acting. I've acted, West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, United Kingdom, France, Mexico, United States. I've been almost everywhere. Like I was saying earlier, the only continent I know I haven't been is Australia, and Antarctica. So, and I've had some of the greatest moments of my life on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, on stage. One of those was in Mexico. With the national troupe when I played the stage play Yemoja.
I think I've seen a picture of that.
Yemoja, that was at the Savantino International Festival of Theatre. You understand? And we had this 76. Countries from all over the world. Wow. You understand? And the national troupe was the only one from Nigeria. Nigeria was the only country representing Africa. You understand? And you had all this, the United States, France, Germany, Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, and it was so mind-blowing winning. We won. Yeah. we won. Then the then president of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo, he was on a state visit to France. When he heard we won, he flew down to Mexico because it was so fantastic.
Yeah.
You understand? So that was one of my greatest moments, and then of course, with Nollywood, before Nollywood, when my first film, winning the best actress, at the age of 19, wow. All over Africa, when you had great African films from South Africa, from everywhere in Africa, So I've lived it, When you say when you talk about living it, I have lived it. Yeah.
Now you did speak about South Africa. At the time, it seemed like South Africa was the leader in the arts, representing Africa in some way. But Nollywood, came out there and sort of took that crown quite a bit. Not really, you understand, because South Africa was then, an apartheid country. Right.
You understand? So the input was not native African, in quote. You understand? We as Nigerians, can boldly say that when you talk about homegrown, you understand, we dead. We dead, we did it all. We are the ones that, gave it to Africa, as in, to the world from Africa, as in, this is totally
All right.
Completely, 360, African, Black African, yeah.
And I think it's very interesting being able to tell your own story, because when
Yeah.
other people tell your story, it might be good, but it'll never be the same.
Yeah, when other people tell your story, they tell it from their perspective, how they see you. How they see you.
Wow.
That is their opinion of you. That is what they are presenting to the world. You're the only one who can present to the world who you are. Because you can't see yourself any other way than how you are.
That's true.
So that's what made the difference, with Nigeria within African cinema. That's what made the difference.
So how has the industry evolved from, when you started as a young person, as a young child, in fact? I'm going to say a young child. 14, 15 is a child.
Yeah.
How has it evolved in all this time up until now?
The industry has grown steadily, but when I started, my first film, Olabalogun's Money Power, I was 17, the first unit, were from Brazil and France. And the second unit was Mainframe, which was then made of Tunde Kelani and Wale Fano. Over time, Nollywood came forth, from the producers of the TV soap operas. You understand? So the first and second units became Nigerians.
Right.
So technically, we grew. Creatively, we grew. You understand? But we began to fall in the area of social impact. We began to fall in the areas of telling our story, because we started, and made all the impact by telling our own stories ourselves.
Right.
But with the growth, technically, creatively, when I say creatively now, I'm talking, not in terms of artistry. Yeah, let me use. Yeah, artistry. The sacrifices that we put in, you understand, in growing, you understand, became seen as old school. And like I was saying, the focus on telling our own stories, was gradually began to be seen as old school.
Right.
So focus began to go to copying America, copying Hollywood movies, and at the detriment of developing Nollywood movies. And of course, with copying Hollywood movies came sacrificing our moral standards. You understand? And by sacrificing our moral standards, we began to impact negatively, socially. You understand? Because initially we were telling our own stories with the intent of gravitating away from the rituals and the, and the juju stuff. Because that was the negativity of those movies. The intent was to gravitate away from that.
Okay.
And begin to tell the stories of the now Nigeria, now Africans. You understand? People who are positive, people who believe in science, and who, of course, are people of faith. You understand? But rather than do that, in trying to do that, we began to copy, foreign movies. And when you copy foreign movies, you want to outdo one another, and you have the half-dressed, the sex, and these movies are meant to social impact on families, on young ones. So they watch these movies and they want to dress like you. They want to dress like you dressed in the movie. You understand? Right. They want to do the things that you did in the movies. You understand? And you are selling to them, low moral standards that are being copied from the foreign movies, which we began to copy. So you find Nollywood's growth, became imbalanced. You understand? You're growing in artistry, but you're not social impacting, because you see, Nollywood alone had at some point, Nollywood alone had the power to change this country. Nollywood alone had the power, on its own had the power to turn things around. Through the kind of movies, the power of our movies, the viewership,
right.
But we didn't do that. Yeah, sadly, we didn't do that. Yeah.
Now, with regards to some of the content in the movies, what is the role that parents could have played to ensure that maybe some of those unsuitable movies or scenes that were too graphic in some ways didn't get to their children or their wards? And the censors board, were they as active as they could have been? Because I believe that movies have to go through a process.
Yeah. You see, the censors board cannot censor your movie if you're not too kind of the affront. You're not too you're not too. If you find a way around it, because this
legal loopholes.
And then and these things were done with subtlety, But the point is, the story you're telling is not what is happening in Nigeria. You have the things happening in the different homes in Nigeria. You understand? And the point is, rather than tell the stories that the things happening in Nigerian homes, a Nigerian wife has no other thing in her head of a way to solve her problems rather than going to a native doctor. Gravitate away from that.
Right.
Tell it that is no longer her reality. That her reality is impatience, her reality in, going out there and getting herself a job, setting up a business, and being busy. Because that became the reality of the Nigerian woman. You understand?
Yes.
Getting a job, you understand, being proactive, being independent, being a contributor financially and in every other way into the home. That became her reality, So gravitate away from that, and tell movies that show the Nigerian woman as being the solid character. Gradually, she has developed into a solid character. You understand? But because it's so unfortunate, you understand, that the gender problem, cuts across every facet. I'm into women and children. I have a charity, you understand, and I've come to to face that. Sadly, the Nigerian male filmmaker does not want to see a story that sees a Nigerian woman. More than 90% of the movies must see her as a housewife, or a woman selling in the market, or being a farmer, or being, or being having boutique, owning a boutique, or a provision store. He can't bring himself to see her growing, becoming a banker, becoming a stock exchange DG, becoming the head of department in a university. He can't
Wow.
he can't see her like that.
This is true.
He can't see her like that, so he refuses to accept stories that see her like that.
And
Now,
sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Now, where unfortunately, the question you asked earlier, it is not about it's not about the census board. It's about the audience. When you have, an audience with a high level of poverty mentality, a high level of poverty mentality. Let me make that clear. Doesn't just have to do with that you don't have money in your pocket. You understand? You can be poor mentally. You can be poor in your refusal to take in information. You can be poor in your insistence on remaining ignorant.
Right.
So when you say poverty mentality, some people think you're just talking about somebody not having money in the pocket. No, that's not what we're talking about. You understand? We have that problem, that those kind of movies that male filmmaker is insistent on making are the ones that the grassroots who form the masses of the viewers, that's the kind of movie they want to watch.
Wow.
That's the kind of movie they want to watch.
And for some of those people in a certain level of society, that is the idea of representation.
Yes. But you see, I ask a question. If you only watch what you are comfortable with, what you see yourself, how can you grow? If I sit down with you, whether you are male or a female, and in 5-10 minutes, you can't open my mind to a new vista. I can't learn anything from you. We can't conversate on something that I do not already know. It's either I can teach you something or you can teach me something. If that can't be there between you and I, the moment I get up from that table, believe me, not just your name have I forgotten. I've forgotten your face, and that's who I am. You understand? And that is the problem that I have. You understand? Because the problem we have, as filmmakers, is the audience. The Nigerian, and that is one of the greatest problems facing Nigeria as a nation. You understand? Because people talk about the government. People talk a lot about the government. You know, I have lived in different countries in this, you know, through my time. I have lived in England. I have lived in Kenya. I have lived in the United States. You know, communities build communities. You understand? But you cannot build your community, you know, when, you know, you mentally, you have a sense of entitlement. You know, there's so much narcissism, you know, in the average Nigerian. There's so much narcissism in the average Nigerian. You understand? Because you would rather watch movies that say this is how your mother and father lived, and that's how you must live, by going to native doctor. And the movie that show you that you can actually, you know, from selling pepper in the market, you can actually go to microfinance bank, get money, expand your business, and the next thing you are having a store. The next thing you understand, you are having a fruits, you know, a grocery, you know, big supermarket. You don't like those kind of movies. I mean, then something is wrong.
So it definitely shows that Nollywood actually could play a major part in building the country.
Yeah. Nollywood can play a major part in building the country. You understand? But you see, you have the main investors in filmmaking, the day-to-day, because you have the so-called old Nollywood and the new Nollywood.
I was going to ask about that.
Now, the new Nollywood produces, accounts for out of 5,000 movies being made in Nigeria every year. New Nollywood accounts for like max. That is, if it's up to that, between 100 and 200 movies. The old Nollywood accounts for the rest. Now, that old Nollywood accounts for the rest. You know, the investors are the men who think only in terms of those audience with closed mentality, who only want to see going to native doctor, who only want to see the woman is being nothing but a wicked, you know, this, you know, that's all they want to see, you know. So it's for one who is in social developmental artistry, you know, on all fronts, it takes strength not to be defeated.
Can that be a bridge between the old and the new?
There can be, but there's no, the will is not there. You have the new having, you know, a false sense of superiority complex. The new have a superiority complex, and the old feel, okay, intimidated. You understand? And of course, the old only want to deal with people they feel, you know, this one's not past us. You know, we can deal with these ones. We are comfortable with these ones. And then, of course, you also have among the old Nollywood, one of the greatest problems facing Nigeria, and that is tribalism.
Wow.
Yeah. Old Nollywood is broken into tribal, you know, cliques. You know, that's why you have English Nollywood,
right,
Yoruba Nollywood, Hausa Nollywood, Bini, Edo Nollywood, South Nollywood. You know, it just makes you sick. Now, that is one thing that wasn't there when I started acting. We didn't have that. We didn't have that at all. We didn't have that. My first network TV soap opera was Mirror in the Sun. Yeah. I came from my local series, in Ibadan. Barbara Soki came from our local series in Port Harcourt, Inside Out. You understand? Yeah. There was this other guy who came from his local series in Benin, Benin TV, so there wasn't anything like that. There wasn't anything like that at all. At all. We had the likes of Sadiq Daba, you understand, who was Kokro Adon, so there was nothing like that when I was, when I started acting. There wasn't, all through that came in with Nollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, that came in with Nollywood. Yeah.
I feel like I just went through a major lecture walk through time. And it's so enlightening because when you're on the outside, you don't really understand the politics and the mindset and everything that goes on in there. But just hearing you speak about it, it's like the same issues we face even at national leadership levels, at the state government leadership levels, is still what we're facing in the industry and across all sectors as well.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so crazy, it's so amazing that this kind of thing can be happening, but I am happy that there's a silver lining. There's a silver lining in the current state of things in the Nigerian entertainment industry, and that silver lining is the music industry. Because the music industry, gives me nostalgic thoughts about how it was when I started acting. Wow. You understand? In the music industry, there's no, you are from the north, you are from the south, it's just, let's make music. Whose music is out there making money? You understand me? Don Jazzy will deal with you if you got talent. Banky W will deal with you if you got talent. Clarence Peters will deal with you if you got talent. So it's about the talent. You understand? And when your talent is pushed there, are you making money back for me as a businessman? You understand? It's an investment. You understand? So, and that was how it was, when we first, started. So I just wonder, when and what will it take for Nollywood to wake up, and start thinking, like the Nigerian music industry is thinking, you understand? Because why I say that is because you have the music industry doing this now are the young people, you understand? And when we say young people, we talk about those who are 40 and early 40s below. But you find the same set of young people in the movie industry are the ones who are perpetuating this, this madness. It's
wow. Well, thank you very much, Miss Clarion Chukwura, for being with us on Jollof Agenda right here on Radio Now. You are family officially, and thank you so much. I really hope we can have another sit down and just talk a bit more. I've actually enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Zibby. It's been a great time with you on Jollof Agenda.
Thank you so much.